All right, away we go. 28-21, the Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs on a really fantastic afternoon, late afternoon in Orchard Park, Highmark Stadium. Sal Capaccio with you here on a Buffalo Football Monday, a Buffalo Football Victory Monday, here on WGR Sports Radio 550 on the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show. Sporting the Victory Monday t-shirt, celebrating Victory Monday with you, and taking your phone calls at 803-0550. Want to waste no time to give that number out and let you know we have some callers on the line right now, but we are locking and loading if you want to get on the air today, because I know you have a lot to say about this one. Mostly good, some not so much. What happened in the game, where the Bills are right now, and of course, leading up to the trade deadline Tuesday at 4 p.m. So much to get to today. Let's do that here on a Buffalo Football Monday. And of course, as always, presented by Catholic Health, the right way to care, and brought to you by Northwest Bank. For what's next, get started at northwest.com. Also by Northtown Hyundai, Western New York's premier Hyundai dealership. Shop online at northtownhyundai.com. You can visit my arrow up, arrow down column at WGR550.com. What I liked, what I didn't like about this game. But mostly, what I really liked. This was a complete game by the Buffalo Bills. They were not perfect. It got a little too close for comfort. Probably should not have even been as close as it was, to be quite honest. But man, that is the Kansas City Chiefs on the other side. That is the team that so many people said was playing the best football of any team in the NFL, playing their best football. This is the three-time defending AFC champions, twice Super Bowl champs, playing their best football that they've played in years. Juggernaut offense that can't be stopped. And the Buffalo Bills not only stopped them, but I'm going to say absolutely controlled the game. They didn't dominate like the game on the scoreboard. They were up a couple scores, yes, at times. But they controlled the game the entire way. There was never a point in this game where I felt the Bills weren't in control of it. And how did that happen? Because of the way that Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills want to play football. I take calls every week, all the time, from people talking about this head coach, his style, wants to play a certain way, and you don't like it. I get it. You're right, no doubt. The way they played football yesterday is exactly how Sean McDermott wants to play it. And it worked out. It doesn't work out all the time. It worked out yesterday against a really good team. And what I mean by the way he wants to play it, I don't want to make it about him. I want to make it about how they did it. A very, very balanced offense. Two-dimensional offense. The Bills, put up over 400 yards of offense on a Steve Spagnuolo-led Kansas City Chiefs defense. That is the most yards the Chiefs have given up all season in any game. I don't know if you are aware of that. I'll actually take a look right now and tell you what their previous high high here was. Let me just pull this up. So Kansas City, going into this game yesterday, the most yards they had given up in a game. I'm sorry, it was the second most yards they had given up, right? Sorry. I got to click offense and defense. I'm sorry, folks. Just want to toggle it here. Yep, it was the most yards they've given up all year. That's what I thought. The most yards before that was 394 in week 1 against the Chargers. And then since then, teams just didn't get a sniff on them to approach 400 yards. And the Bills put up 404, the most all year. Okay, but how did you do 404? 260 of that through the air, 260 plus from Josh Allen. 140 on the ground. That is a balanced two-dimensional attack. When you can do that, this is what McDermott talks about, and it's true. It's hard to do. But if you can keep a team off balance and run and throw like that, that is exactly the formula for winning a game for 60 minutes, and what I said, controlling a game. That's what they did. Okay, that's offensively. This was also, I think, the most balanced Do we want to use the word complimentary? Complimentary football game this team has played. Whatever word you want to use. You hate complimentary football, that's cool. The way the defense also controlled this game. Getting after Patrick Mahomes. 3 sacks, 15. Let me state that again. 1-5, 15 quarterback hurries. Hits, hitting him. Not allowing him to scramble. They controlled Patrick Mahomes all day. I just told you the Chiefs allowed the most yards in a game all season that the Bills put on them yesterday with 404. On the other side of the ball, the Chiefs' offense had their second lowest output of the season. The only other time they were as low as what they were yesterday at 305 yards was 294 in week 2 against the Eagles. That's it. I am listening and driving in, and I love it. I mean, like, this is what we do. It's a reaction show, but man, the tenor and the sound of you, the callers, social media, at Sal Sports, by the way, on X. Bullpen, high bullpen, I'll get you in a second. Everybody, it's just so different when this team wins versus loses, right? And man, the stuff leading up all week to this game, and now you get here on a Monday and you win the game, and I'm looking up. In the studio right now, I got it up on my screen. It says, are the 6-2 Bills the best team in the AFC? It's literally frozen on the screen for some reason, and I don't even know why, and it says it right there. That's how they're talking about the Bills around the country now after, what's wrong with the Bills? Now it's, are they the best team in the AFC? This is what happens during football. Folks, it's a great reminder. It's a long season. It's a long season for a team. It's a long season for players. We'll get to that. Cole Bishop, a great, great reminder. Development is not linear. Every game is new. Every game has its own DNA. Every season does. There's peaks and valleys. We know this. What does it mean in the big picture yesterday, what they did? It keeps them on pace, in line, for what their goal is at the end of the regular season. A, win the division. B, get the 1 seed. You still have the New England Patriots ahead by a half game. It gives them a head-to-head against the Chiefs if the Chiefs were to win their division or play and match up in a wild card game. If they both won the division or both were wild cards, I guess is the way I'll say it. It hurts the Chiefs more in their seeding and standing. Of course, it's not the end-all, be-all. We know they're still, that's that boogeyman there in the playoffs. Totally get it. But the game still mattered. I don't care if it's, I was so tired of hearing about, well, regular season, then they can't beat them in the playoffs, so who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you think the Chiefs think it didn't matter yesterday? Does anybody think the Kansas City Chiefs didn't want to win the game yesterday? Yeah, it mattered. Mattered to the Bills, mattered to the Chiefs. Doesn't mean it means anything for what happens in the playoffs, other than where the teams are right now and how they could fall. Okay, we are streaming right now live on YouTube, on Twitch, WGR 550 on YouTube. Hello, Bullpen. Good to see you. That's what we call the chat box on the live stream on the Bullpen, on YouTube. We call it the Bullpen. So thank you for coming in. Hi, everybody. How are you today? We got Dan and Nick and AC and Go Bills. I mean, everybody's got to go Bills, right? I think a lot of people. Matthew, Hot Dirt, of course. Thank you so much. Walter's in here. Appreciate all of you coming by. What's up? You guys keep the chat going. I'll do the phone calls today. We'll have a good time today on the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show. All right, let's start it off. We got a full bank of phone lines. And Thomas has been waiting patiently down in Florida. What's going on, Thomas?
Well, Thomas from Florida, first live Chiefs-Bills game I've missed in 5 years, and it worked out well. So maybe I'm not the good luck charm I thought I was. But I want to talk about the emotional leader impact of Michael Hoyt.
Yeah.
It appeared to me the second he entered the starting lineup, he elevated the play of every player around him. He was a rabble-rouser, pumping up guys. Everyone seemed to play better while he was on the field.
Yeah.
The fact that Ed Oliver is also that type of guy, I'd like to know what player or free agent acquisition could step into that role. I have a player in mind who would come cheap, Denario Davis, 36-year-old middle linebacker for the Saints, who's always been their emotional leader, playing for a terrible team, still ranked in the top 10 PFF grades at linebacker, would come cheap, would provide that emotional lift at a cheap, affordable price. I want to know from you, who else do you think could step into that role?
I mean, I don't know where Demario Davis would play, right now at his position, because Shaq Thompson's a guy right now that also, by the way, I think Shaq helps out there. I don't disagree. I think you're 100% right, by the way, Thomas. I mean, the way you put it, the minute Michael Hoyt stepped onto the field and in the lineup, it changed this defense. It changed the attitude. Sean McDermott said the attitude has changed. I mean, you're talking about two different things, though. You're talking about on the field, and you're talking about the emotional part of playing the game on the field and off the field. And I don't think you can replicate that from anybody, but you hope that what he brought rubs off, and you hope that he's still around the team and able to do that, but not necessarily on the field. It's going to happen. Sure, you want to bring a guy like Demario Davis to do that? I don't know where he's playing, though. Is he going to play over Terrell Bernard and Shaq Thompson when he's playing middle linebacker? I'm not sure. But sure, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The answer to on the field is going to be probably right now Javon Solomon, and he's not Michael Hoyt. What I mean by that is where they put him passing downs. He was the guy before Michael Hoyt in that role. Now he's going to be as well. It's a massive, massive loss for the Bills. Michael Hoyt is a massive, massive loss for the Bills. He allowed the Bills defense to be transformative. And what I mean by that is like a transformer. You know, the old the show and the cartoon and all that? He's a shapeshifter. He allowed the Bills to do so many different things they couldn't do. And now with him and Ed Oliver out, what I think they need more than anything is a little interior pass rush. That was really all we got as far as injuries from the Bills, but it was a big one. That's the Barnes Firm Injury Report, brought to you by the Barnes Firm. Injured for help, call 1-800-8-MILLION. Let's go to Ken in Syracuse. Hi, Ken. You're on WGR.
Good morning, Sal. Happy Victory Monday to you. Sorry if someone has brought this up before, and our head coach has taken a lot of flack over when he uses timeouts.
Yeah, he does.
But he used that timeout against the Chiefs before the Chiefs' field goal because a Bill was lined up offside.
That is correct. I pointed that out last night. I pointed that out last night. Nobody has on this show, but you're the first person. I just started the show. But that is correct, yes, and I get it. And I saw it last night, and people were complaining about timeouts, and I know that this coach has a tendency to use timeouts on defense for different situations. If they had not called timeout, the Chiefs had a free first down. I think it was Jordan Hancock. He was lined up offsides on a 4th and 5.
That is exactly who it was.
So my question to anybody who's upset is, would you literally rather have them have the free first down? Of course not. Now, we can be mad about the process, and that's inexcusable. You can't line up offsides, right? That's coaching, that's playing, that's everything. These guys know not to line up offsides. And we can be mad about that all you want. Holy cow, I want my coach, if he sees that, any coach, I want my coach calling timeout in that situation. I'm not giving the Chiefs a free first down.
Right. From my seat in the stadium, I'm right along that yard line. It was clear to me that Hancock was offsides.
Yeah.
So, and so McDermott called a timeout, and when the team walked over, he immediately walked over to Hancock and told him,
that's right.
You were offside.
That's right. I saw the same thing. Ken, I still was debating somebody this morning who told me, I don't care, it's still a wasted timeout. No, it's not. It's only wasted in the fact that Jordan Hancock caused you to waste it.
Yep.
Right? It's not wasted from a strategic standpoint because you can't give them a free first down. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. Now, that being said, there was another timeout he used after a big play down the sidelines because the defensive line was gassed and he wanted to get new guys in there, and the Chiefs were moving the ball. And you can complain about that. That's fine. But there are reasons for these things. Let's go to Michael in Atlanta. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Sal. Great victory. By the way, I'm hoping you can leave me out so I can hear. I know sometimes you have to cut the call to give somebody a response, but if you can leave me out, at least hear your response would be great. But I do have a few things I want to address, and then it ended up with something that really bothered me. Okay, so this is, to me, is a very big victory for many reasons, and I'm sure you know the stat. It's the only game Patrick Mahomes has completed less than 50% of his passes.
Yes.
Huge victory for the defense, right?
Yep.
Allowing a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver, these things don't happen against the. I don't know when the last time was. Sometime early last year that they allowed a 100-yard rusher. So
week one of last year, 100-yard rusher, but that was Lamar Jackson. It will have to go back to 2023 for a 100-yard running back.
There you go. Okay, so to me, yes, I feel like a lot of fans. I've been a fan since the first time. I think it was 68 or 69 when I was listening on the radio when O.J. Simpson was a rookie and he was returning kickoffs and punts, I think, back then. That's when I became a fan when I was a little kid. And I've stuck with them all the way. But to me, this victory is a bit different than the other victories against the Chiefs. And I know a lot of people, like you said, feel that, oh, yeah, well, they beat them, but they can't beat them in the playoffs. I'm sorry, the playoffs are for winners, okay? You have to admire whatever it is, if it's a fighter, if it's a team that keeps getting back up and keeps fighting, okay? If they don't get in the playoffs, if they don't win these games, is that better? Does that mean that the Kelly era was all for nothing because they lost 4 Super Bowls and nobody was any good on that team? That's ridiculous, and I'm sick of hearing this. So, and especially with all the adversity that it had this year and all the questions about the offense and the inconsistency on defense, and a lot of those questions are valid. But when you cure those problems or at least start to head in the right direction against a good team last week and a great team, as you said, many are saying this is maybe the best team in football right now. Tony Romo could not stop raving about the Chiefs and about Mahomes before the game started, and they really did a great job. The Bills, like you said, didn't dominate, but they controlled the game. Okay. So here's the thing that bothered me is to have these feelings as a fan, to have this great excitement. And then last night after the game, and I know the unwritten 11th commandment with your station and any station, you don't want to talk against the people that are saying whatever they're saying that might be bad. But at the end of that game, the announcers around the game for the post game and for taking phone calls. Celebrate what? What? They beat the
Okay, wait, hold on, Michael. If this is a point about other hosts on the station, that's not really for me right now. This is not what I do here. So.
I understand, but we want to be excited as fans.
Okay, that's cool. And you are, but wait, you have a chance right now. You're on with me. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that.
I know.
Okay.
Right. But I'm saying is that enthusiasm.
Okay.
Fans like me that are that passionate.
Great.
We feed off of that. We don't want to be.
Okay.
Have mud thrown in our face after a victory.
Okay, well, that's okay. You can pick it up with the people who did that, okay? It's not me, so I appreciate it, Michael. Thanks a lot for the phone call. Thank you. I got to go. All right, Mark in Canada. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, how you doing, my friend?
Good, thank you.
I'm in Canada, so if you can give me a minute, my wife doesn't want to hear me talk about football. I just wondering, it kind of frustrates me a little bit as a fan when you hear these guys on national media, to talk about the first takes and all those guys, what's his face there, on First Things First. And they're talking about Mahomes always beats Allen. Even all over today, we can't appreciate this win because it doesn't mean anything in the playoffs. And I'm just like, well, obviously, the team that beats the Chiefs in the playoff in the regular season is never the team that he has to face in the postseason. But nobody talks about that. They act like it's just the one team is the same team. Oh, we lost Von Miller. There was a direct reason why we beat the Chiefs that year. He wasn't available in the playoffs. We had some guy who was retired on a championship with his family come out and try and guard Travis Kelce. Then we sit here now and we destroyed the Chiefs. But that's not going to happen later in this year because Michael Hoyt's gone. I don't know if Ed Oliver's coming back. So Patrick Mahomes is going to line up against practice squad players, and then we're going to act like he's the best quarterback who ever lived. Well, if he's the best quarterback who ever lived, maybe he should have a harder time. Meanwhile, Josh Allen is putting up the same stats going against Pro Bowlers and future Hall of Famers. And so I guess, if you had the answer to the Michael Jordan, LeBron debate, then maybe as talk show host and radio host, maybe that's their profession, and maybe you guys aren't allowed to give the answer because it would kill the narrative, and then you have to talk about something else. But it's like the answer is so simple. And it's so frustrating to see Josh Allen's a loser because, guys, he doesn't come with the same team that the other guys come with. And, that's just not being talked about. It's very simple, why these things matter. And we got to do something at the deadline because that's going to matter. We got to, I don't know, Jeffrey Simmons, is he available? Because that's something we could do. Can Michael Hoyt, retire because he's upset and then unretire, we get cap space?
No, they don't get cap space for Michael Hoyt. No matter if he retires, he's on IR, nothing like that. I have to be super honest with you. I'm kind of confused about the phone call. I think he's just saying, hey, I think he's just saying like, oh, I don't really know. I don't really know. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know. And I know you're in Canada and you said your wife doesn't let you talk about football or something. So this is an outlet for you, and that's great. I was kind of confused there on what the point was. But they're not playing. He's not going to play practice squad players unless the Bills have a whole bunch of more of injuries. And the Chiefs will have injuries too, and injuries can't be an excuse. Every team has them. And I agree that the Bills have lost some key players in those games. And that's been a big deal. And that's why the 1 seed's important. To not get injured before you play the Chiefs later in the playoffs, which they have in a couple of different instances. Billy up in Toronto. What's going on, Billy?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I gotta. If that was my wife, that'd be my ex-wife. If I can't talk football, simple as that, fellow Canadian. Listen, Sal, what a great game. How many times have I called you and said to you how to beat Mahomes? And they did it, and it's not on me, but I mean, they did it exactly the way we said it. We've seen what Tampa Bay did in the Super Bowl. We've seen what Philly did. I want to ask, how many yards did Patrick Mahomes run for? 5. How many yards? 10? 15,
5.
maybe?
I just said 5.
Yeah. This is how you beat these running quarterbacks, and he's a lot better than a running quarterback. But my God. I mean, I said you make Patrick Mahomes pass the ball when he can't run. He's not as good as everybody thinks. And that's exactly what the Bills did. I loved everything. I didn't think we could run the ball as well as we did. We ran it down their throats. When Mahomes did get to the sidelines that one time, we didn't think that he was going out. We drilled him. I thought we might have got a 15-yard penalty. Drilled him into next week. I just love the way the Bills played this game.
Yeah, that was AJ Epinesa. I think every single football fan looked for a flag after that play because that's just what happens, right? Man, did he crush him. Check out my my post on that. I quote tweeted Dan Fates in Rochester with a great video of that. What a hit. Holy cow. And he was feeling it. Patrick Mahomes was feeling it for sure. Good start to the program. We'll take a time out here. We'll come back with more of your phone calls on the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show.